It's our birthday, and we're going to cry if we want to. Cry if we want to. You would cry too if that happened to you. Words to a song that seem pretty ironic for us tonight. Nonetheless, on this night 2 years ago, our YouTube channel or YouTube show began, and Pucknology After Dark was officially born. Although I will say, Gentry and I started it out on a walk back on October of 2015. Nonetheless, welcome to this painful edition, our painful birthday edition of Pucknology After Dark, following a 5-4 come from behind victory for the Minnesota Wild. We will check in with our guys in just a jiffy, and trust me, it's a painful one. But nonetheless, if you want to be a part of the show, and I don't see why not, then like Gen X would always say, join the conversation. Use the hashtag PucknologyAD and rant there. You can also join in the YouTube chat on the page or on the app. Tonight, you're going to probably have a boatload of people, but at the moment, you have yours truly at PuckGuy14, at Eric Landy, at JAlexander46. And we should remind you that Pucknology After Dark is powered by Audible by Amazon. We've partnered with them to give you a free 30-day trial. You can choose up from over 180,000 audiobooks, and you can keep one for free, even if you continue to use the service or not. Make sure you visit audibletrial.com/PID. You get a free book. You help support the show. And unlike the Sharks in 2017, everybody wins. That's audibletrial.com/PAD. Oh, boy. This one's going to be a tough one to talk about, but I'll first say good evening to Gentry Alexander. What's up, Notch, bro?
Definitely not my spirits after that goddamn game. That was a absolute travesty of a game.
Looked pretty good early on, but completely collapsed at the end. And you can't say it was just one person. This one's a team loss for sure tonight. Landy? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Gentry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, and the guy who spells his name the right way, he's held it in long enough. Mr. Landy, the floor is all yours.
That was the most piss poor set of defensive play in a third period I have seen from this team in a long time. I mean, for God's sakes, you go into the damn period up 2-1. You let them score 2 minutes in. 2 minutes in. Zach Parise is just left right open, right on the net. And then you go up 4-2. And you have two separate 2-goal leads. And you piss them both away. I mean, was that last 2.5 months of defensive hockey just fucking shit down the toilet? I mean, honestly, it's baffling. It's like they forgot the defense. It's baffling. It's really, I hope Peter DeBoer really lays into him, because there's no excuse for that. I mean, there's no excuse for that. Martin Jones let in a couple of weak ones, I thought, especially on that knuckle puck that went in. There were two or three non-calls, 2 trips on Tierney, 1 high stick to Kevin LeBanc. And all around, it was just a really shitty game. And this is from a team that prides itself on defense. You're not going to win games like that. You're not going to win games playing like that.
Gentry, anything to add?
I think it really just comes down to will, skill, and everything else that you need. And your guys that this, like, when guys like Vlasic go down, you should be able to sit there and look at the locker room and say, okay, we need some of you to step up and
the next
play
man
your
up.
game. Yeah, man, bury your thongs and let's get this game going. And nobody did that for this team. So far, Nick Petrecki 2.2. Mirko Mueller has been nothing spectacular, and DeMello has now 2 games where he has made so many defensive mistakes. I'm starting to wonder why he's even on this roster if he's just going to sit in the press box. But maybe Dover was just kind of forced to play a hand, and he was the only one readily available. But right now, I have no faith that in 2 AHL caliber defensemen playing in this league, and you're honestly going to make me miss Vlasic, and that's you don't want
And
to
you
make
don't
me
like
miss Vlasic.
Gentry to miss Vlasic. Come on now. That's no, that can't happen. Gentry can't miss Vlasic.
Oh, and let's, look, sure, it's one game, but this is coming off of 3 consecutive losses, one be it in overtime, but 2, the first one where you get manhandled by the Kings, the second one where you're going into the third period with a lead, and then the Kings steal a win right out underneath you, and you go again into the third period up 2-1, and you've got a smaller team that that wasn't really putting up much offensively. You just let them come out and explode out of the game. It's one thing if they just played shittily through 3 periods, but it's another thing if they play great defensive structured hockey through 2 periods and then fucking piss it away in the third. There's nothing more that infuriates me than that. There's just no excuse. Do you just forget to defense in the middle of intermission?
Well, and it's not like one person screwed up. It was the whole defense had problems. Martin, Braun, DeMello, Dylan. It was the whole defense that kind of stepped apart. And Jones had some nasty rebounds that were, so juicy that, Koivu squeezed one to tie it. So, you hear about how things can be a team victory and everything. This is a team loss.
Oh, and DeBoer, I think, has a hand in it too.
Yeah,
because he was not playing great line matchups. He had the 4th line against Mikko Koivu out there more than one time. And so you've got Tommy Wingles going against Mikko Koivu in the faceoff circle, and his line is fucking on fire. That's just not paying attention to the assignment.
No, it isn't. But the numbers are interesting here tonight. Carlson had 1258. Where's Winkles? Winkles had 1239. Michael Haley played 1147. He had more game action. He had a little more game action than Jonas Donskoy had tonight, and he got the game going off with the goal. So unless something happened to Donskoy, and let's put it this way, Haley almost played more than Kevin LeBanc. And LeBanc played 1154. Haley played 1147. That's just surprising. I'm not sure as to why. Hopefully we get an answer from that. Kudos to having it somewhat balanced, a balanced lineup tonight, but still, that's a little crazy there to do that.
And just to shut Jake up, because he keeps saying Haley was good. Did you see that partial break that he had? And then he was just like, "Oh, I lost the puck. My bad, guys." There's no excuse for that.
No Haley,
don't feed the troll.
No, it's just, you know what? Look, I like what he brings to the table, honestly, from a physical standpoint, but talent-wise, he's getting outplayed. It's a mismatch out there whenever he's on the line, out on the ice. So you either protect him by putting him with 2 good caliber players, or you don't play him.
No, I'm going through the chat here. Rocket saying Couture's faceoff was written by the Onion this year. I think Chris had mentioned it. If you take away Logan's faceoff percentage, the team would be 12th in the league in faceoff percentage. That's interesting. Ian Reed, of course, with the hot take of the night, Matt Nieto would have had a hat trick. We'll definitely touch on Matt Nieto and taking his services to the Rocky Mountains from Long Beach via San Jose a little bit later.
Marlowe watch.
Yeah, we're on Marlowe watch, guys. I think, and hopefully this will occur soon, but Marlowe watch is on, and nobody in Bay Area sports talk radio will probably talk about it. But Marlowe at, whatever, at 492, he got a goal tonight to make it 4-2, where it looked like the Sharks were dominating and taking control. But Minnesota used their speed tonight, Jen, and I especially in the third period, to get that comeback going. First to tie it on Parisi's goal, but then once the Sharks made it 4-2, they really started their wheels going.
I think there was a hunch. I had a hunch tonight that if there was ever going to be a game where Parise was going to find his way, that he was going to find his touch, it was going to be tonight against the Sharks. Because here's the thing, Parise is too elite of a player to be on a downtrodden, thing for this long. And all you have to do is, if you're in a rut, you look for that count. You look on your game calendar and you circle that game against the Sharks, because they're going to let you just get back into it. Because right now the Sharks are defensively just. They're hurting. And all this depth that I kept hearing about in the offseason, and all this, we signed Schlemko, and we have all these great prospects coming in. What prospects? Mirko Mueller?
I think on the forward side, we're pretty stacked. I think on the defensive side, I mean, maybe it was an opportunity wasted to try out Tim Heed. Maybe that's the case. I mean, you're looking. I mean, when's Vlasic eligible to come off IR?
Probably Saturday. He'll be able to get back Saturday.
Yeah, so you figure he's probably going to be back in on Saturday, or at least you hope. But you kind of start looking at, well, I mean, DeMello kind of had some brain farts out there tonight. Do you sit DeMello, send down Mueller, and then put Tim Heed in for a game? Maybe. But I think that you've got a lot of justification to start really messing around now with the roster deployment. And I hope Bodker gets a burr up his ass because of this benching. I really do. Because right now, this team needs speed. I mean, they're just getting burnt, and they look slow.
Yeah, no, I think Minnesota, more than anything, used their team's speed in that third period to really get things going here.
And it all came from a simple line change about putting Niederreiter on that top line with Stahl and Parise, and all of a sudden they just the Wild came alive, and I'm sitting there going, a line combination shift in which it actually sparks offense. I wonder why the Sharks can't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you're starting to see Donskoy start to pull out of his slump. I mean, I've liked what he's done. I think he had a really good game tonight. You saw Ward, was bashing and crashing the net, which is good to see from him.
And Carlson got a goal tonight. Sorry, but I just wanted to.
Oh yeah, no, I mean Carlson looked decent. I thought Wingles held his own, but Haley got victimized, and I cannot excuse losing the puck on a partial breakaway. I mean, it's just this. I don't know. You're National Hockey League player.
I have an idea of how to fix this. This is what I'd do if I was Peter DeBoer. This is what I do. Ready? I have been preaching this. Me and my friend, who I'm currently house sitting for, have been wondering why he hasn't been in the lineup all year. And he's currently lighting it up for the Barracuda. And he has all the same type of game tendencies that Haley does, except he can actually score and he's got good speed. Please, DeBoer, whatever Barclay Goodrow did to you, like tripped over your dog, slept with your wife, get over it and bring him up.
Who are we talking about?
He's Goodrow.
Barclay Goodrow. Why is he not in this lineup?
So there actually might be a legitimate reason for this. I was listening to Dudes on Hockey today. It's another podcast, but we like to cross pollinate here. We're equal opportunity that way. But something interesting though was if Barclay Goodrow plays more than 10 games, he has to be. You either have to protect him or you have to leave him exposed in the expansion draft. So there could actually be a legitimate reason why he's not getting playing time up here, because they don't want to have to protect him. Because if he doesn't play more than 10 games in the NHL, he's automatically exempt. So that could be a reason. And we've seen the DW trickery before.
I don't know. At this rate with this team, you've got to do something, because our fourth line is just not doing it. And as funny as it was to have, Haley on that stretch where he was helping the Sharks be undefeated, you got to do some type of lineup change. You have to, whether it's a call up or whether it's, bringing somebody or a trade or something, you have to do something, because we need depth. And obviously, we gave up, we put Nieto through waivers, and obviously he was claimed by the first team that had the first on the waiver wire, but you're going to have to start looking at this team. We are now, 44 games into the season, and yes, your team is still 39. Sorry. You're still, you more or less, this is the team that you're going to have for the rest of the season. This is the team that you're going to be potentially going into the playoffs with. If this was the team I'm going into the playoffs with, I'm concerned.
I think we all are.
I mean, and look, I think what's really bothering me the most was just how they played through the first two periods. They were weathering the storm, of having an injured Schlemko and having an injured Vlasic, and they looked good. I mean, defensively, they looked sound, and then it just fell apart. They looked sound against LA in the last game, and even the game on New Year's. The defense was not the problem. It was the inconsistent goal scoring, and now you're seeing in this last third period, in this meltdown, you're seeing both the defense give up 5 goals, and you're seeing the offense not be able to compensate. And we knew that this was going to be a problem. I mean, we have seen it and seen it and seen it. This team can't score more than 5 goals, or can't score more than 3 on most nights.
I think that the Sharks can't count past 4 right now.
Yeah, exactly. So, in my opinion, I think it's time to, I don't know, maybe break up the Joes, put Joe Pavelski as a second line center, or do something and try and spread the wealth offensively a little bit more.
Here's my take, is that you keep, honestly, I think some of the, in the past, during our little stretch where we're on a nice little game winning streak, was I think you keep LeBanc, Couture, and Donskoy together. That line has been really good. They have been really consistent, other than tonight, but they have shown a lot of upside. And I still think you keep that chemistry together. Do you break up the Joes? I definitely would. I mean, you have to try something. Or do you break up the Joes? You put Thornton back. You put maybe Thornton on, with Patty, and then you put Timo Meyer on the right wing where he's naturally plays.
So you would
spread the wealth. I think you could.
So you're saying, so Marlowe, Thornton, Meyer. The second line would be
LeBanc, Couture, Donskoy, and then your third line could be Pavelski, Ward, and Tierney. Carlson, or Tierney.
Well, I think I like Tierney as a fourth line center. and you bring back in you bring back in Bodker. But honestly, I think Bodker has been such a disappointment this year.
But if you do,
go ahead.
yeah, but if you break up the lines like that, and if you do it like with, Marlowe, Thornton, Meyer, you do LeBanc, Couture, Donskoy, you have grit and speed on each of those lines. And obviously, if we're getting burned, each game, and if you have every line within a certain amount of speed, why the hell not? Because as much as I love Pavelski, and as much as I think that I love him with Joe Thornton, I think Pavelski just doesn't have wheels. He's smart, but he just doesn't have the wheels. And when you see him trying to break free on a breakaway, it hurts. It hurts my feels. So I think that you give him the easier matchups against other third liners, because I think that if you give him the easier matchups, because I remember, what was it? It was 2010 when he was on the quote unquote third line with Kyle Wellwood and Torrey Mitchell, that helicopter line. They did work. They did work against other teams' third lines, and that's why we were so successful.
Everybody in the chat's like, well, you don't put the captain on the third line. You don't do this. You don't do that. But hold on. Honestly, it's Jumbo. It's Jumbo's production, and he's kind of fallen off a cliff. And right now, Pavelski seems more of a logical choice as a number one center than Jumbo does at this point. Right now, today. This could all change in a week from now when Jumbo goes on his ageless wonder streak, because he's got that in him. He had this same thing last year. I just wonder if that World Cup has just really just set him back.
I'm wondering if this game was our Winnipeg, fire under our ass game that we needed. But then again, you could have said that about the 5-0, shellacking that we took against the Pittsburgh Penguins, or the shutout, or the time we got shut out by Detroit, where you could have just sat there and said, okay, well, we need to make some changes. I think at some point, like, if this isn't the tip, if this isn't the thing that breaks the camel's back, I don't know what is. I don't know if DW is just sitting there going, I still like what I see. No. The fact that his team, cool, we're playing great defensively, but we see the Kings do this where it's like they play great defensively and they barely make it to the playoffs and, then go through their tear. I want to see us play great defensively, but still have great offensive upside. Every other team in this freaking league has been able to get more than 5 goals. And we haven't. And we're supposed to be the Stanley Cup favorite.
Honestly, I was just going to kind of going from the chat. Honestly, I'm not suggesting sitting Jumbo, but I am suggesting maybe shifting his ice time distribution a little bit. Maybe giving him some more offensive zone starts versus the defensive zone starts, sheltering him a little bit more, just to get him back in the flow.
Well, maybe do you maybe put Couture on that first line then, with maybe put him with Pavelski and maybe put him with Marlowe.
But then you're going to neuter your center line depth. Really?
No, because then you move Jumbo to the second line.
Oh, so you keep Couture and Pabs together and you move Jumbo to the second.
Yes.
With LeBanc and Donskoy?
Maybe. And everybody's saying, look at the blue line, look at the blue line, look at the blue line. Guys, did you guys watch last game? Did you watch the first 2 periods of this game? They played good defensive hockey. It's the fact that it fell apart in this third period with some really stupid gaffes, mind you, and I'll give everybody that. But they had the structure there, and then just kind of just like, boop, just something went off. So the tools are there. We saw it for 40 minutes. We saw it for 60 minutes and plus OT last game. It's there. But offensively, this team is being stifled. Offensively, they need to do something.
You need goals to win, and if you can't get more than 5, that's saying something. I think this just if you go down the list of every guy on the roster in this game, everybody just had a really craptacular game. Even
Except for
Jones.
Donskoy and Ward. I think those two had decent games.
Ward,
Go ahead.
But isn't this one of those type of games where you kind of wish you could have seen I could have seen Dell starting this game.
Sure.
He's proven. I would have. I think if this isn't the time to say, well, maybe Jones' workload is getting a little bit too much. I don't know what is. I think we've seen Dell proven himself to play a solid backup role. This would have been a good game to start him. I mean, we saw Jones have a rough, time against the Kings the last 2 times, and then he had a rough time tonight. Do you see him starting against the Red Wings on Saturday?
And for everybody saying, "Oh, face-off," so we won the face-offs tonight.
Yeah, let me just chime in on that really quick. Hi, everyone. Face-offs, Logan Couture, who's had an awful year in the face-offs, won 67% of his draws. Pavelski was at 33. Patty won all of his face-offs. Jumbo was 83%. Haley was essentially 1 out of 4 at 25. He was the lowest one. Wardo won 75%. I thought he had a great game tonight with a goal and his face-off wins. Tierney struggled with 42%. So a better face-off win, but they couldn't do anything after they won the draw. And they won the face-off battle 52-48. They outshot Minnesota 34-26. I mean, San Jose was dominating this, and I think Minnesota started picking up their speed once San Jose made it 2-0 late in the second. And they really started to come on strong. And then once they grabbed the lead, they kind of went into lockdown mode, and the Sharks couldn't muster anything from that.
Yeah.
Back to you, Landy.
Look, you give up 4 goals in a single period, and you give up back-to-back goals. I mean, what was it, span of 12 minutes? I mean, 3 unanswered goals in a span of 12 minutes? That's horrible. That's horrible.
They essentially gave up 4 goals within 12 minutes. In the first 5, they had 3 goals between both teams. You got to hunker down once you get to that goal. But again, you got to. This is where we saw them struggle in the Stanley Cup final against Pittsburgh, where once the opposing team put on their speed and kept peppering shots, the Sharks kind of had issues with it, and it showed again tonight.
Totally agree. I mean, look, first period they limit him to 5 shots. The second period they limit him to 6 shots. That's 11 shots through 2 periods. That's beautiful. They give up 15 shots in the third. 15 shots. They end up mustering 26 shots, which tells you, Jonesy let in a softie. That knuckle puck, I thought was kind of a softie. We probably need to give him a night off. Probably need to give him a night off.
If Jones is starting against the Red Wings on Saturday, I think that's just them pulling a Nabokov and just overworking Jones because he's younger and he can take it. But then at some point, it's like, what's going to happen when you overwork Jones and then you see him go down, with something, where he misses a couple of games and you're forced to make him sit. It's like, guys, Jones hasn't looked right for the past 3 games. I think it's time to give him just the night off.
And I don't want to say that Jones looked bad in those 2 LA games. He looked decent, but tonight was definitely off. And just looking at Dell's stats, I mean, the thing with Dell is that he has consistently shown that he can be trusted in goal, and yet he's not getting the opportunity.
Mm-hmm. I think How many starts does this make for Jones now? I'm curious.
34.
34. How many
34
starts?
starts.
34 out of 39.
How many starts does Dell have?
6. Or no, 5. Excuse, 5 starts, 6 games played because he's played mop up in the Pittsburgh game.
Right.
Okay. I think Jones has played more than any other goalie in NHL right now. That's saying
Either
something.
him or Cam Talbot.
Yeah, with Talbot.
And look, I mean, Dell, through his 6 games played, even with a shitty mop-up situation, his goals against is 1.78. His save percentage is 936. That's pretty damn good. I mean, you would take those statistics from a backup. You give him a shot.
And
Like I said, I say start him on Saturday. You know, you're sorry if I'm interrupting because right now, like my internet is laggy because I'm at a friend's house. But I think you just kind of shake it up. You give Jones the night off, and then you give Dell the start on Saturday, and just see what happens. You see if this team in front of him responds.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're going to try doing some more shakeups on those forward lines, what else? What other kick in the butt do you have? Right? I mean, you can start another goalie. Maybe could you have pulled Jones tonight after the third or fourth goal? Could you?
You could, but I think that's a little iffy on that. I mean, let's be real here. Schlemko is out. Vlasic's out. I mean, it's obvious Vlasic is needed on this. I mean, it's simple that this team misses Pickles to calm their nerves down. You have prospects that aren't the greatest in the world, and like we said earlier, I think there are guys that look at and see how in the world you're doing this. They're taking that jump from the AHL to the NHL, and there's going to be that little half step ahead once you move up into the NHL. AJ, you're with us. You want to tell us how horrible I am?
I'm so confused. This show has been like so ADD. Like for the first 10 minutes, it was the defense's fault. Then for the next 10 minutes, it was the forward's fault. For the last 10 minutes, it's been the goalie's fault.
It was a total team meltdown.
But it's true. I mean, let's be real here.
Dude, no, exactly though. Hold on. Let's be real. Okay, let's be real. Right now, okay, the special teams are doing them zero favors. But let's be real. The Sharks are missing arguably their 1B defenseman. That is huge. The dude eats up huge minutes. You're not going to replace him with a Dylan DeMello. Dylan DeMello fucked up all over the ice tonight. You're not going to see that from Vlasic. If Vlasic is in this game, they probably win. Schlemko, another guy who helps keep Dylan at ease. Calms his nerves no matter what it is. Instead, Dylan's up there with Braun. Braun looked a little bit kind of deer in the headlights tonight because he doesn't have his stalwart Vlasic on his side that he's used to. He's got Dylan that they don't play together, not a lot of chemistry. So, we can't go completely nuts here. It's one game. We saw them shit the bed a year ago around this time versus Winnipeg. That changed things dramatically. We still have the second half to go. We're still in first place. No need to freak the fuck out. We've jettisoned Nieto. We might see Heed coming up. Who knows? I don't know that these are the end of the moves that we see right now. I think Wilson might be positioning himself to do something else. But let's not, go ape shit tonight. You can talk about, we got to make this move. We got to make this move. Look, we've all seen P2B loves his line blender. Let's just stay with something for a little while. You had you had the all caps line for like the last 3 weeks, and that changed tonight. Maybe that could have been, maybe that shouldn't have happened. I mean, there's all sorts of different things you can do. Look, it's one game. Did they have a shitty defensive game tonight? Yeah, they gave up two goal leads. But you also have to realize that Mueller's out there, who clearly is not ready to play at this level. DeMello had one of his worst games I've ever seen. Just two absolutely horrid penalties tonight because he has no legs. And they've got him up there trying to defend big-name guys. And when it comes to face-offs, Pavelski was 33% tonight, but he took a hell of a lot more face-offs. It's like Marleau was 100% in the circle tonight. Okay, how many face-offs did he take? One. So, once you put, you've got Pavelski taking big face-offs tonight. It didn't have his best night, but I mean, little bit of perspective here. And if I'm coming in to calm everybody down, there's seriously a problem.
But AJ, I want to throw this at you. This was a team that had
watch me duck.
That had the shoe. Remember the shoe, the Matrix shoe. Yeah. This was a team that had played shutdown defense for 2 periods and then give up 4 goals in the span of 12 minutes.
I don't know that it was so much shutdown defense. I think they looked good defensively. I think that's also going to happen when you get that first goal. You start to skate a little bit better, and then you get that second goal, and you feel, okay, we're feeling good. But we've seen this from the Sharks for years. They get up by a couple of goals, and they kind of go into that defensive shell. Now, we didn't see that so much last year with PDB. We definitely saw that a lot with McClellan.
Right.
But I don't know. I just felt like Minnesota made adjustments in the second intermission. I mean, you can see it on the shot clock. The shots on goal for Minnesota in the first were 5 to San Jose's 8. In the second, they were 6 to San Jose's 15. I mean, the Sharks were bringing some offense, and then they disappeared defensively in the third.
But I
feel like they tried to sit on a lead tonight because they don't have 2 of their arguably best 4 defensemen on the ice tonight, and so they just tried to, sit on a. Chris is always the one that tells you that the team will not play the same when they have that 2-goal lead. They go into that shell. And I think, honestly, once they saw Minnesota tie it up, not once but twice, it did feel a little bit like they were kind of like, okay, well, maybe not tonight. Let's see Detroit.
That has to be the worst defensive period of hockey that this team has played all year. I mean, just by goals alone, the number of goals that they let in alone, the worst.
I don't
right?
know if it was.
I mean, right?
But you have to asterisk it. You have to ask it. It might have been one of the worst defensive games they've ever played, but you have to take into account that what did they do? You had the line, but this is the first time you see Meyer up with the Joes. They threw Marleau back down. You have Wingles back, who hasn't been here in like 5 or 6 games, and you've got DeMello and Mueller in for Vlasic and Schlemko. So I think that's, you really need to take into account look, they haven't won with Vlasic out of the lineup. Now, not that he's like the card that holds this whole house together, but I mean, he's, like I said, if he's not, he's 1B for this defense. The guy eats up serious fucking minutes and might be one of the most underrated defensemen in the league.
Oh, and I'm not arguing that point. The only point that I am arguing, the only point that I think that really just boggles my mind is how well they were playing for the first 40 minutes and how ineffective they were at the changes that Minnesota threw in the third period.
Yeah, well, like I said, Minnesota's coach made changes. Boudreau was able to make some changes. Not to mention the fact that Minnesota, especially recently, has had a lot of experience at coming back, playing back from being down. Over that 10 games or 12, whatever many they won in a row, they had a lot of experience playing from behind. Minnesota made you can tip your stick to them, man. They made adjustments and they made the Sharks look just really bad in that third period. But like I said, I don't think that this happens if Vlasic and Schlemko are in, and Mueller and DeMello are out. Like I said, this might have been one of the worst games from DeMello I've ever seen, and typically I think he's a very good 6'7" guy. But I do, I might have to jump off here and go buy a. I might have to go buy a lotto ticket because in the last 24 hours, I called the Capitals ending the Blue Jackets streak. I took Donskoy to get the first goal tonight, and I was the only one on the Pucknologist that said that the Sharks would lose this game tonight. So I might have to go get a lottery ticket.
Yeah.
So when you see AJ with a dollar sign,
Dollar bills, y'all.
Dollar necklace around, just say one word and one word only. What's that word, AJ?
Holla!
Yes.
You call me AJ Money instead of our money.
Wouldn't that be A money?
There you go.
All right. Okay. I think we've beaten this to a dead path, and
Have we though? Have we?
yeah, we have. They've lost 3 in a row. I mean, like Rocket said, this is all the Sharks' fault. They phoned it in. They're just soft on the third. I can't blame with it at all. With that, let's talk about things that occurred within the last 24 hours, transaction-wise. Shark-wise, Matt Nieto was put on waivers yesterday. Today he was claimed by the Colorado Avalanche. A lot of people had speculated that this was the guy, and Gentry, I'll go to you. This was the guy, the second-round pick in the 2011 draft from Long Beach, California.
Take a shot.
Yes, take a shot. That the Vegas Golden Knights were going to take, and you are. Okay, thank you, AJ.
Yeah, thought I'd help you out.
But see here, so now he's gone. There you go. Thank you, Gentry. Landy, you care to join in? But Nieto gone. Good, bad. Your thoughts, Gentry?
My thought is that cool. We cleared up a roster space. I think Nieto just wasn't proven himself to be effective with the younger crop coming in and making an immediate impact. And I'm kind of sitting there going, well, yet again, Colorado wanted our sloppy seconds, so good for them.
Oh, like Jimmy McGinn wasn't good enough for them.
Right.
Well, think about it. This is the second time that Colorado has taken a second-round pick of ours, because Ginner and Nieto. So they've taken our sloppy seconds.
But
Yeah.
Thank you, Sean Avery.
Oh, I miss the days of the league.
Look that one up, kids, if you don't know it.
Yes. Yes.
It involves a certain wife of a certain Ottawa Senator player.
Yes.
And the certain star of 24 and the girl next door.
Oh, dear God. Let it go and move on, would we?
No, but it's Alicia Pepper.
Paging Dion.
Anyways, so Nieto's gone. The Sharks also, because Schlemko's out, called up Tim Heed, and this one's been perplexed. We've been trying to figure out all day, and I think we figured out an answer for this thing. He has been called up. He didn't play tonight, obviously. But there is some issue on whether or not he'll be needing to clear waivers when he sits down. However, it sounds like, and I think even Kevin Kerr's got this was cleared up, that this sounds like they won't be needing to clear waivers. I'm guessing it's an emergency call-up. Now,
if you follow Ian Reed, he actually explained this earlier.
Yeah. Well, just recap.
Pucknology's own
Ian Reed. Who I lovingly referred to yesterday as fuckface on the Pucknologist. had to edit out, unfortunately.
Damn. He must be pretty salty that Canada lost today.
We'll get to that in a little bit.
You know what? Here's the thing. Okay, so how would you feel if the Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final was decided in a damn shootout? That's how I feel. Like, as much as happy I am that USA won, God, that was such an anticlimactic end to that game. I really wish
it really was.
like, honestly, just end the shootout. It's just horrible.
I mean, look, the shootout's good for regular season games. I don't have any problem. Uh-oh, it's the Maple Basher.
I thought he was going to be asleep. Okay, well, we might as well talk about this game. USA wins in a shootout for the gold medal, 5-4 over Team Canada. We go to Canadian icon Ian Reid.
It was like millions.
Fuck, cheese it, man. Cheese it, Dad's here.
It was like a million Canadians all burst out.
Fuck, the beer.
No, look, I honestly, like, I'm not upset. I'm not upset about the game. I'm not even remotely salty about the game, man. I wish it didn't end in a shootout, but, Canada left it all on the ice, man. It's all you can ask for from the kids. I mean, they're fucking kids. So I'm not going to, sit here and bellyache. I don't.
Come on, give me the satisfaction of the bellyache. Come on, how many times has the U.S. beat Canada?
I'm not going to. I think it's great that it's good for USA Hockey. Maybe that the Team USA Hockey, when they go to the Olympics, they'll look at this and say, oh shit, this is what happens when we bring a team with talent instead of a team that might gut it out. Like, I don't know.
Low.
Oh, you mean a team that's coached by Tortorella?
Well, it's not even. You know what? I don't even blame that on Tortorella. I blame it more on just the team that was constructed. Look at who they left at home.
Yeah,
I mean, we beat this to death in the summer.
We did. Look, it was a good game, and I was sorry to see it end in a shootout.
Yeah, exactly. That's my only disappointment with the game was it ended in a shootout because I just don't think that's the way you decide a gold medal game. The reason I came on was to explain the whole Heat situation.
Thank God, because we got Gen X on the chat saying, hey, Ian, you're not here to talk about the fucking worlds. You're here to talk about sharks, buddy.
Dad's about to get angry. Don't get angry, Dad.
No, I'm not mad. I was asked a question. I answered it. Okay, so here's the situation with Tim Heed, and I've kind of gotten conflicting actual what the hell's going on. So there's one of two things that has happened here, and it's either A, he's an emergency call up, which would exempt him from waivers, because the problem with Tim Heed is that this isn't his first NHL contract. If it was his first NHL contract, then he would be then you would have a year of basically exemption from waivers, being in his first year. The problem is that this is his second NHL contract. He signed an entry-level contract with the Ducks a while ago, and it basically would have said, it would have basically put him at, I think he would have had like so many games, like 60 games, but that would have expired last season. So had he just signed his first contract this year, then it wouldn't even be a question. The reason why it's so confusing is because of that entry-level contract that he had with the Ducks. Even though he didn't play, he still had that entry-level contract. Now, I don't know if that changes because he didn't play in North America at all, and I know he didn't play in North America at all, so I'm not sure if that has any impact. So basically, there's also this funny wording in the collective bargaining agreement where it says basically if a player hasn't played 10 games and has cleared waivers before, and that's where it gets confusing because it's not end or, it's just end. You have that 10 games or 30 days, just like an emergency call up. So I'm still leaning towards emergency call up, but I mean, the CBA is so murky and teams do kind of finagle with it all the time. So,
well, here's a question that everybody is wondering.
Okay.
Will Heed's nickname, when he does finally become a Shark, will it be Heater? So it's close enough that we can get rid of the stank from Heater.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Right?
That's a fantastic question.
Could be Timmy.
Or I don't know.
I
mean,
I like
that if he has if
Go
the
ahead, sorry,
Sharks have a big game and if the Sharks have a big game and Tim Heed is a big part of it, is it going to be the Sharks headline or is it going to be the Sharks Heed line?
You know what? Zach Devine confirming it is Heater already. So they're already trying to get the stink off of Danny Heatley and what he brought to the Heater name as a Shark.
Would that stink happen to be vodka?
Too soon.
Oh, that's not too soon.
Just saying.
Hey, 1507, bitch.
That's right. Fucking all-star.
Fucking all-star. All right. I was also getting some conflicting stuff about Goodrow. He's eligible to be picked up by the Golden Knights already, correct?
And here comes Ian Reed to tell you why Goodrow will never play for the Sharks.
I don't think it matters. I don't think. Look at Barclay Goodrow.
I'm just trying to clear it up. That's all.
Gonna be a Shark. He'd be a Shark now.
That's kind of the way I looked at it. Like I see O'Regan coming up before.
Right. No, exactly. Like look at the guys that I think if you're gonna bring up Goodrow, look at everyone has to just get the fuck over that Michael Haley's on this team. It's not changing. I get it that it doesn't make everyone happy, but it's not going to change. Peter DeBoer sees him in that role. That's what's going to happen. So Barclay Goodrow Barclay Goodrow taking over for fucking Haley is a moot fucking point. It's never going to happen. Just accept it. Move on. Have a fucking latte. Get over it.
I can't.
So Barclay Goodrow is not coming up in that spot. Barclay Goodrow probably isn't. I mean, maybe he could take Wingle's spot, but I think again, there's just guys down there that I think could come up sooner than later that are just going to jump over Goodrow and take these spots. Goodrow's not better than Karlsson. Nieto wasn't better than Karlsson. Hence, Nieto's gone. So I just he's never making this team unless they get super injured. Look at the guys they've called up. Carpenter's probably going to get called up before him. I think O'Regan gets called up before him. And knowing the Sharks, fucking John McCarthy's coming up before him. So
that hurts.
Let's be honest here.
Just according to Cap Friendly, the Barclay Goodrow has not met the 40-70 clause.
Right.
So that's why he would not be eligible for the draft. Just FYI.
Yeah, I haven't looked. I just think it's so irrelevant. It's not the reason they're hiding him. They're hiding him because he doesn't have a spot on this team, and he's never going to have a spot on this team. They need to cut bait and trade him or just put him on waivers like they did with Nieto.
But, okay, let's talk about Nieto, though. Let's talk about the waivers for Nieto.
Okay.
How were they not able to trade him when he was he was snatched by the first team that could?
Because a team will take him for free, whereas a team that you might try and get value for him from probably isn't biting because they know they've got you over the barrel with the salary cap and everything else. They've got you over the barrel, man. They know it.
But you couldn't finagle some kind of 6th or 7th round pick for him.
They might have, but honestly, I think they did Nieto a solid, to be completely honest. He's been through all this, he's been a good trooper, man. And you've never heard Nieto bitch about his lot in life with the Sharks ever. And and look at this is going on 2 seasons of that, and he never said boo about it. I think, it's a business, but at the end of the day, there's people too, and I think in a situation like this, they did Nieto a solid by letting him go because look at he's on a 1-year deal that's making him piss money. I'm sure he wants that next deal. He's not going to get that next deal sitting in the Sharks press box waiting for a trade.
Ian, 2 quick questions or 3 quick questions coming from the chat. What about Goldobin?
There's just Goldie. I don't know. Goldobin fits a very specific role on the team. You can't just plug him in anywhere. So you'd need the appropriate injuries to bring him up. I don't know what this team looks like next year, to be completely honest. But I think that I think Goldie's. I wouldn't write Goldie off yet. I just think that right now with the team and the cap being what it is, he has a very specific tool set that the Sharks don't need right now or can't afford because of Mikael Bodker.
I think it's either Goldie or Marlowe. I think that those 2 pieces can't coexist on the same roster. You can only have one enigmatic forward on your roster at a time.
Well, that is so a debate for the writers' room. The other question being, Mr. Polite, and I love that handle, by the way. You're very much welcome. Would like to know any possibility of putting Bodker on waivers. I don't think any way that happens based on his contract term, blah blah blah. But go ahead, Ian.
Sure. I don't think you just look at Nieto's value was questionable. He got scooped up first pick, and I knew he was going to get picked up. Mikhail Bodker, the problem is with, at least with Matt Nieto, if he cleared waivers, you could put him in the AHL and he had no cap hit. That would be, his whole cap hit would be hidden in the AHL. It wouldn't be a thing. Whereas a guy like Mikhail Bodker still leaves you $3 million over the cap.
Yeah. Okay. And then finally, just a random question. What do Barclay Goodrow and Jake's first girlfriend have in common?
They can't
No
score.
matter how hard they try, no one's coming.
Oh, wow. We are after dark, ladies and gentlemen.
And with that, let's move on to around the league. As we've already discussed, and Ian's probably stopped crying about it, the United States beat Canada in.
I never cried about it. It was a good game. Fuck you.
Speaking of fuck you, that was Jake's response to me.
It was Edmonton.
Oh, but hold on.
Boston.
I was only joking. It was a joke. Don't you get it? That was just a joke, man.
Just
Okay.
kidding.
Just kidding. Go ahead.
Edmonton 4, Boston 3. Of course, a tip of the cap to the Columbus Blue Jackets. They got shut out by Washington 5-0, so their 16-game winning streak comes to an end. Nashville beats Tampa Bay 6-1. Carolina beats St. Louis 4-2.
I'm sorry, dude. Mike with the line of the night. Bodker will score before Jake does. Oh, Mike with the line of the night.
Puck guys just like, you guys suck.
He tried to get all serious for a second.
Chicago 4, Buffalo 3 in overtime.
Go ahead.
Detroit shut out LA 4-0. And that puts us in this situation in the Pacific Division. All right, the Sharks are tied with Anaheim at 48 points, although San Jose has...
What?
All right. And Edmonton is only a point behind. Calgary has 44. LA has 42. Vancouver is sitting just a point behind LA for the wild card spot. They play an interesting back-to-back this weekend with Calgary, which, if you do listen to our beloved TSN 1040, fans are contemplating canceling their vacations in April, May, and June because there might be playoff hockey in Vancouver.
That's a real big pipe dream, though.
Oh, there might be playoff hockey in Vancouver. It won't be played by the Canucks.
It'll
but,
probably be the Giants.
Yeah.
Or the Vancouver Stealth of the National Lacrosse League. But seriously, guys, this division has suddenly tightened up once again. 1st through 6 is separated by 7 points.
Cool.
Welcome to the NHL.
Yeah.
Right?
Welcome to the division of mediocrity.
All right.
And of course, coming from the chat, wanting to know, did someone say Vancouver?
No, I'm not in the mood to do it tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, see, he's not in the mood, guys.
Oh, we bummed him out on the second birthday. We bummed him.
He's gonna roll over and go to sleep.
I can if you guys want to. I mean, that's cool.
Man, only 3 seconds in? Much like Jake.
What?
Go on.
Sorry, Dad.
All right. Moving onward. So tonight is the 2-year anniversary of this show. AJ, what's your favorite memory of this?
Oh my god. Can I do like my top 3?
Sure.
Okay, top 3 would definitely be Say That to My Doggy Face, That's Ian calling Landy a fucking idiot. That was hysterical. And then, but I mean, you could say with you guys in general, but no, I think my number one was Jamie Baker. Like Jamie Baker was nice enough to come on and spend like 20. I mean, I think he said that he would like give us like 15, 20. I mean, and this is like during the playoffs, so it's not like he didn't have stuff to do. I think he said he would give us like 10 or 15, 20 minutes. I think he went almost an hour with us. So I think yeah, that was probably my favorite. I mean, from a serious angle, which clearly Puck Guy right now is going for. But yeah, that's my. Oh my God, Eric, lighten up. Go have a shot, would you? We're all having fun. It's the second birthday. If you don't laugh, you're gonna cry about tonight's loss. So come on, buddy.
Landy, your favorite moments from the 2 years of the show?
Oh boy.
Being called a fucking idiot.
Well, I mean, there's always, making Mayor's Manor eat, crow. That's a pretty high one. Cam Ward, this bitch. That was also a really good moment for me. And just Mike Brown.
Can you explain? Wait, I'm sorry. Can you explain Cam Ward, this bitch?
I don't even know how that started. Does anybody know how it started?
Yeah. I think it was a Carolina game, and
no, it was about Matt Murray.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was about Matt Murray in the playoffs, and I said he's Cam Warding this bitch.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I mean, he did Cam Ward this bitch. He won the Stanley Cup.
No Conn Smythe.
Oh, no Conn Smythe. That's true. So he only half Cam Warded it.
Chester Chivo with breaking news. Puck Guy is leaving Pucknology for Fear the Fin.
Mike Brown, the teddy bear, though. I mean, that Chester Chivo Photoshop right there, on point.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I've kind of missed over the last year or so. We're not seeing the Photoshops that we used to see from Gen X and Chester Chivo.
Remember that time when we would pit them against each other and they would just one-up each other all the time?
Yeah. You know what? The GIF thing has taken over. Now it's finding the cleverest GIF.
It was AOL.
Remember, it's GIF, not GIF, like in the past. Right, Gen X? Notch Bro, your favorite moments from the 2 years of doing all this fun stuff?
Well, I think one of them would definitely have to happen to be when Mayor called me an idiot because I said Logan Couture was going to be the MVP of the round one last year, and look who was right on that account. Let's see. The second one would be our nearly 3-hour Western Conference Final Championship episode that we did. Or mid-episode, me and you got into our Western Conference shirts, like, live on air, essentially. Because we were on there for so long, we were able to go to the store and grab them and then come back on.
That was pretty sweet. I totally thought Gentry's, like, 3 best moments was going to be, there's, like, 3 times I got on air.
Hey, part-time. Hey, man.
Fourth line banger, baby. Fourth line banger.
You know what? Put it like this.
You are the Michael Haley of this show, my brother.
I am the Pat Falloon. I am the Patrick Marleau of this show. I am the original OG. You cannot get rid of me. My 46 will be going up into the rafters long after I retire. Suck it, bitches. I am
nice.
So wait a minute. So are you going to tell us about the part how you're an enigmatic scorer?
Yeah. Because, I show up when I feel like it, I say my zingers, and then I disappear for 5
minutes. Text, and then he's done.
He's like, you don't know how many microphones I've dropped, bitches.
You don't even know how many of these iPhone mics I've been through. What's up? But yeah, and then my number one, I think the number one would just be like, I think it was my first show with I think it was Chris and like all of us, and it was just it was so new to me because I was so used to just having, it was me and Eric with the iPhone walking down Santa Clara. So I was like, oh, so this is what it's like. And I feel like I was so nervous that whole time. So now I just don't care. I
Okay.
show up when I feel like it.
Remember, like last season, it was a hot dog a sandwich. There was that debate. Evidently, now the debate is it GIF or GIF?
It's GIF.
I would agree. Hard G.
Yeah.
Gee.
Ian, your favorite moments from the 2 years of this show?
Oh, geez. Gosh. I don't know.
Calling Landy an idiot.
Here? Yeah, calling Landy an idiot, fairly. 'Cause that worked out so well for me.
Taking LA in the first round.
Yeah, you know. And anytime I'm wrong,
singing
it's a
the
good
anthem.
time.
Yeah.
Anytime I'm wrong. It's a good
It's like when I got my own show and didn't have to do this.
Yeah. Yeah, when I spun this bitch off. Spin off, bitches. No, I don't know. I mean, I think it's been fun. I think I don't know. I can't think of like specific things. I'm glad people mostly put up with me.
His favorite moment was the chomp box.
Yeah, the jump box was
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
That was great. I mean, it's a gift for fuck's sakes.
If we're talking GIF, are we talking the peanut butter? Like, 'cause that's the only GIF I think about.
Oh, wait a minute. I was talking like the cornbread mix. Isn't that Jif too? Isn't that the Jif
What
cornbread mix?
fucking cornbread are you buying?
Jiffy?
What?
I've never even
Jiffy.
heard of that.
Jiffy.
Dude, that's a fucking popcorn.
Dude, I'm white. I don't eat cornbread.
Whoa! Whoa!
That's not racist. That's
You
just
make your
facts.
own after dark joke, people.
Whoa. The comments from our Canadian brethren did not solely reflect us in America.
No, you guys did that on your own on election night.
Oh.
I know we did, and then we took gold. That's all that matters.
Oh! Excuse me while I run out to make some popcorn. And you know what kind I'll be making? Jiffy popcorn.
Oh, and poor Eric over there. He's just like, you know what? Fuck it. I've lost it. I'm done.
It's like I've lost control of this damn show. I wish I could just go back to me on my iPhone, just talking crap.
Hey, you know what? You know what though? He doesn't have the turn off button. I do.
Go ahead and see what happens if you get rid of me. Go ahead.
No, not
Go
to
ahead.
boot you, to end the show.
No, we couldn't get rid of you.
Hold on, I'm a little interested. I'm curious now. Like, what's gonna happen? Like, I'm like really interested. I'm so perplexed. He's like totally got me curious now.
Two
What's
things.
happening?
One, our logos would be gone. And two, I would leave.
And for that matter, you know, you're SOL without brand recognition. Anywho, inside joke. My favorite moment. What?
No, I was gonna say he was gonna kill social media night. Go ahead.
No buttons.
No tweet up for you.
This is Puck Guy night. This is Pucknology with Puck Guy. Because I'm the whole fucking show.
Wow.
This is what happens when the Sharks get embarrassed.
We just kind of turn on each other.
Jackal saying Eric will bail and start Chompnology.
Oh, and Jessica wanting to know if there's any progression on a link to get Pucknology shirts.
Yeah, Eric.
Yes.
The fuck?
Wow.
Okay then.
Okay.
Yes, there is a link. But
I'm not sharing it.
Find out on the next episode.
Oh, and Chester Chivo strikes with winning $50,000 and on TV. Eric suddenly thinks he's the shit.
Number one, I don't think I'm the shit. I think
That's
I'm
me.
the shit up
All right,
on.
I'm the ego in this fucking relationship. All right.
He is the straw that stirs the drink, baby.
Does Ian wear the pants in our family?
And I'm
Yes.
the Patrick Marlowe. I have the no move clause, so you'll never get rid of me.
There you go.
Yep.
Okay, so which one's Christina?
What?
That came out of fucking left field. What are you talking
No,
about?
he
Whoa.
said he's the Patrick Marlowe of the family. Who's the Christina?
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's a good one. I guess I'd be the single Patrick Marlowe.
Single Patrick Marleau.
Really? No, he's be like, here's Patrick Marleau, here's Christina.
Yeah, this
Wow.
is Pamela Harrison.
Eric, you better take control of this.
Yeah.
Oh, we're having fun. I thought it was a birthday party.
Let's move on to my top three. The first one of which, getting the DM from Brody Brazil 20 minutes to go, I think in our first year, saying, yeah, I'll come on for about 20 minutes. And then he stayed on for 2 hours following a Pittsburgh victory, or Pittsburgh losing to the Sharks. That was a fun night. The other night, of course, was May 25th when we won the West. I mean, that was just crazy. 3.5 hours. We had everybody on and then some. That whole playoff run was fun. Of course, walking back with Gentry from games is always fun. Although I think Tuesdays takes the cake when seemed like we were in the middle of a freaking tropical storm, trying to talk.
It went from Pucknology to Weather Channel.
That's right. But of course,
It's cold.
I couldn't get away with my favorite meme that came from this show. This is the guy that the Sharks are going to
Dude, I fucking love that meme.
That being said, let's move on to Saturday night.
Oh, I have one thing that I do have to say from memories of the show. The Jeff Merrick interview was like bucket list material for me. So, yeah,
that was amazing. That was amazing.
Can I recreate that for a second? Just hold on.
Maybe one. now let's go off. Let's have one more segment before we have Puck Guy call it on our second birthday. Is what would you like to do on this show? What is your show bucket list?
Good question. Ian, I'll start with you.
I already spun my own show. What more can I ask for?
Well, fuck you then. AJ, your thoughts.
Wow. Spin my own show that had. Oh, wait a minute. I did that too. I think
Shit.
Bucket list for this. Okay. Again, I'm very much kind of like the top three guy. Bucket list bottom, like number 3, would be either to get Randy Hahn or Ruzanowski to do like 20, 25 minutes with us. Secondly, would be to get Doug Wilson to do 15, 20 minutes with us. And third, or what I should say, numero uno, this is actually a tie. It would either, I'll take one of the other. Drew Remenda to do 20 minutes with us, or that this show somehow becomes the actual Sharks post-game show that's authorized, although whoever's working the censor button is going to be worn down to the nub after the first show.
And we're off the air.
I don't know, man. Have you seen some
It's like this station has the worst fucking reception. It keeps going in and out every 5 seconds.
So it's like,
are they speaking in Morse code?
Have you seen some of the shit that's on CSN at like 12 p.m.? You know, just like randomly at lunchtime, some of the shit CSN has.
I think let me do this for real. So I kind of flubbed on it. I mean, obviously doing writers' room is awesome, and having the ability to do writers' room is awesome. But I think if my bucket list on this show, it's already started to an extent, but I feel like I don't know. I just want to be kind of acknowledged by our peers to a better extent, and I feel like I kind of accomplished that because I was asking people about shit today, and most of them were answering my questions, or at least trying to. So I don't know. I guess just to be taken more seriously among our more employed peers.
Yeah, but I think the problem with that is, and we'd have to ask the chat this. I mean, according to the Google right now, we have like 23, 24, 25 people watching. Do you find the show funnier when we work blue, when we have occasional F-bombs and when whatever blue language? Or do you think we can be just as funny and we can be on point without that language? And the other thing being, can we try to be more, shall I say, maybe take down the shades of teal in our glasses a little bit, try to be a little, because like I said earlier, I mean, Landy went on a rant to open the show that like was one of the best rants we've ever had. But
NBC, my NBC rants are pretty good too.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is that if we're going, do we want to be the show that we kind of started off as, where it's just kind of like guys having a drink and shooting the shit about the game that you just saw, and there just happens to be some people listening into the conversation, and it's going to be really biased? Or do we want to try to provide like authentic analysis? And I mean, it's a fine line to ride. But if you want to be taken seriously by peers and whatnot, that's the way you have to go. It's like no booze, no blue language, and no bias. Yeah, that's pretty much no blue, no booze, and no bias.
So basically, the writers' room, which gets watched by less people.
Oh, okay. Well, then fuck it. Let's go. Let's all,
I think you answered that question.
I'm just saying.
I think that we're the Mad TV of the Sharks media.
We might get more ratings than Mad TV did, but yeah.
Here's the thing: is that we're not looked as seriously upon, but hey, we've got some funny sketches. We're underrated, but we're in there. We're good.
Dude, I have yet to this day see Eric break the Puck guy break the way he did when Chris said, "Say that to my doggy face, you motherfucker." Eric lost it for like a straight 90 seconds. There was no saving him at that point.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was pretty good.
So anyway, Eric, Puck guy, Notch Bro, what's your bucket list for the show and going on?
I would love to have more regular guests. I would love for I'm kind of in the same lane with AJ. I would love for the Sharks to recognize this as their unofficial, official post-game show. And most importantly, and I think it's a reachable goal, I know there's 22 watching right now. I would love for you to all tell a friend and tell your Twitter followers to subscribe to us.
And then they tell two friends, and then they tell two friends, and so on, and so on, and so on. Sorry.
Laurel pointing out that the key to expanding this program is the Angry Tree.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, did the Angry Tree ever re-up?
What's his contract? Angry Tree is currently in the
month to month
system.
So he's on a two-way deal then.
He's on a two-way deal, and he's been having a tough time lately. So hopefully he'll get going, and one day he'll be almost as better than Barclay Goodrow.
Gen X saying, "You want the Sharks tie-in? Clean it up, tighten it up, and praise Hasso."
Chester Chivo, the show is a freaking pyramid scheme.
Ultimately, my goal I would love come playoff time to be at least over 500 subscribers. That would be a huge thing. I would love to hit 2,000 Twitter followers. I would love to hit 500 Facebook likes. So, I mean, literally search Pucknology on YouTube for either Writers Room or After Dark. SoundCloud, Google Play, iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, MySpace. I mean,
he wants it basically to be more prevalent than STDs at San Diego State.
Wow.
Yes, we want to reach ASU levels.
All right. So, moving on to Saturday night, it is Seals.
Whatever. I asked the question. I don't even get to answer my own question.
Sorry, Gentry. Go ahead.
Whatever. No.
Gentry, go.
My goal would be to interview Dan Boyle My goal then would be to just kind of.
Did he say interview or fillet? I couldn't hear that.
Interview.
Well, interview on the show. Flating would be way, way, way.
I don't think we can put that on YouTube.
No, it'd be on
Moving on,
Pornhub.
Gentry.
It'd be Pucknology on Pornhub.
Moving on, Gentry.
No, it'd just be to interview Dan Boyle, and have him officially recognize me as his #1 fan. That's mostly it. But go on. Bring up Saturday.
Saturday, it is Seals Heritage Night against the longtime rival Detroit Red Wings, who are in danger of missing the playoffs for the first time since the Sharks came into the league. I know a couple people have already said, should we start Dell? And what do you guys think? Quick answer, Landy.
Yeah, no, Sharks should start Dell. You're playing against an Eastern Conference team, a team that, for pretty much all intents and purposes is a shell of its former self. And you kind of give the guys a kick in the pants.
AJ?
Yes, you go with Dell. January is a very heavy month. This is an opportunity to use him and gives Jones a little bit of time because you do have, 3 back-to-backs? There's 3 back-to-backs this month.
God.
What did I miss?
Sharks are on their period. Heavy month.
What? I want to know the joke. What the fuck
I
is
said
it?
the Sharks are on their period. It's a heavy month.
Oh my god.
Sorry, this is what happens when I'm up at 2:30 in the morning.
I was looking at the schedule when you said it. I didn't hear it. So yeah, it's a heavy month. They're on the rag. So yeah, there's 3 back-to-backs. I wanted to answer this very fast, and then he had to say that and just throw me all off. So yeah, it was. Yeah, of course you start Dell, and you probably start him 3 more times this month because of the back-to-back situations.
Agreed.
Yes.
Gentry, you start Dell.
Yeah, I think you start Dell. You don't want that much spotting to happen while you're, during your heavy month.
Honestly, I can't believe that Puck Guy has lasted this long. I thought he would have dropped off about 20 minutes ago.
You don't want him to be spot starting.
And also, if you're going to the game on Saturday, do a Pucknologist a favor and score me a shirt. Thanks.
All right. Wow. Okay. Well, like I said, make sure you subscribe down below. Make sure you hit up Pucknology.net for all your Sharks news and information. Make sure you subscribe to all our podcasts on any type of podcatcher or media outlet or whatever. We'll be back with you Saturday night following Sharks and Red Wings. And until then, I am Eric. And for now, still in charge of this program. Keep it real, keep it tight, keep it real tight. Good night.